Hello everyone. I decided to do Chapter 9, Productive Teachers, Assessing the Knowledge Base. The instructional strategy focus of my video is on student grouping, more specifically tutoring, which could also be defined as flexible grouping. These teaching techniques in Chapter 9 have had and still have remarkable effects on learning. These techniques were observed to be the quiet revolution in education research, according to Ornstein. Student grouping was defined as one of those quiet revolutions and are still used today in classrooms. So before student grouping, we had traditional whole class teaching of heterogeneous groups, and these can present serious difficulties. This is because it is a wasteful practice to teach a group of students what they already know, and teaching other students material that are falling behind or incapable of learning yet because they just simply do not understand. If we want to teach students as much as possible rather than to make them all alike, we need to consider how they are grouped and try to help the full range of students. Under student grouping in Ornstein, there is a subcategory called tutoring, and it's also known as flexible grouping. Flexible grouping is not anything new. Teachers have been grouping students in various ways since back in the schoolhouse days. And back then, teachers just grouped students based on their age or ability. Flexible grouping is the range of grouping students together for delivering instruction. This can be as a whole class, a small group, or a partner. So why use flexible grouping? Flexible grouping creates collaborative groups that actually builds understanding from various perspectives in the classroom. Flexible grouping also promotes communication between peers. It can also unlock prior knowledge so that students are ready to learn the new content, which saves you time. And it is also proven to impact success in the workforce because children learn to work as a team. They are thinking critically about the content they are learning, and the workforce now wants employees to be able to work together and collaborate. What does flexible grouping look like, and how can you do it in your classroom? It is essentially differentiated instruction. So differentiated instruction may mean teaching the same material to all students using a variety of instructional strategies, or it may require the teacher to deliver lessons at varying levels of difficulty based on the ability of each student. An easy way to do this, though, is flexible grouping as an instructional strategy so that you are teaching effectively and reaching all of your students. To be successful, however, in flexible grouping, you have to manage it accordingly. And it takes a lot of time. To be successful in grouping, it doesn't happen overnight. Some things that you can also do is to create a color-coded system or chart, or that they might have jobs so that you can have the abilities grouped correctly. You could also give specific instructions to the groups so that they know what to do. You can post written instructions and expectations so that you don't have to repeat yourself, again saving you time. Also, you want to model and practice routines and procedures for getting into and out of groups. Developing a routine is key for having successful flexible grouping. Also, set a time limit. Use a timer so that you are not wasting learning time. I want to show you. So right here, I'm going to play you a video, and I'm simulating a box, but this is going to be 4 desks put together. So this is actually our flexible grouping right here. And here's our 4 desks. And I'm going to place one of your higher level students right here in the corner and simulate another higher level learner diagonally. This is going to be our moderate level learner, so in the middle. And then we have our lower level student, our challenge student. Your higher levels are going to be directly diagonal, and this is because they're not going to have as much communication. Having the higher level next to the lower level is going to give that lower level student opportunity to learn from them, watch from them, and pick up on some strategies that you're teaching in the classroom that they may have already mastered. Your middle student, your moderate level student, is going to have both of their higher level students next to them, making that also an easier way for them to learn and access the content that you're trying to teach. This brings me to students in UDL. For anybody who's been listening to my discussions, I use UDL a lot in my discussions because it's my favorite adopted practice by the state of Maryland. And UDL stands for Universal Design for Learning. And it's basically an approach to teaching aimed at meeting the needs for every student in your classroom. So it can be helpful for all of your students, your lower, your moderate, your higher level learners. So as you can see here in this photo, love this photo by the way, on the left you can see that all of the friends are unable to reach this common goal, which is watching the baseball game. And then on the right side you can see your friends, and this is where flexible grouping comes in. Your students work together and collaborate to reach the same goal and to ultimately reach your expectations in what you're trying to teach in the classroom. So basically all your students are able to reach the goal, and in this case it's watching the baseball game. So I challenge you to use these teaching strategies in your classroom next week, and I hope to hear some feedback. If you already use flexible grouping, I want you to comment about how you use it and other ways you can use it in your classroom. I would love to hear them. My last slide here just contains some resources of where I got my pictures and some additional information. I hope you enjoyed my video, and have a great week.